They told you $100,000 was the dream. They lied. In today's economy, six figures isn't success. It's a trap. You make more money than ever, yet your bank account never grows. You're not rich. You're a high-paid prisoner of your own bills. In this video, I'll show you the hidden math that keeps 100K earners broke and the one shift you need to make to actually get free. Look, I want you to picture this for a second. You finally did it. You crossed $100,000 a year. Maybe it was $92K plus a bonus. Maybe it was $105K after a promotion. You told your parents. You upgraded your apartment. You breathed a little easier. And for about 3 months, life felt good. Then somehow, you're still stressed. Your credit card balance won't die. Your savings never seems to pass the same number. And every month feels like financial déjà vu. Same paycheck, same bills, same anxiety. And the scary part? You're doing everything right. You have a job, you're contributing to your 401k, you don't feel irresponsible. But deep down, it feels like the game is rigged. That feeling? That's not laziness, that's math. And today, we're going to expose it. My name is Chris, and I use math to expose the middle-class traps that keep smart people broke and engineer the exact blueprint for your financial exit. If you're someone making a good salary but still feels stuck, squeezed, or quietly panicked about money, make sure to hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Now, let's talk about the trap. When you hear $100,000 salary, your brain does something automatic. It doesn't picture cash flow, it pictures status. You picture ease, you picture security, you picture being done with money stress. That's the illusion. Your brain was trained from childhood to believe 6 figures equals success. Why? Because for decades it actually did. In the 1990s, $100,000 put you in the top 10% of earners, but in 2026, it barely cracks the top third in many metro areas. But your brain never updated the software, so when you hit 100K, you unconsciously give yourself permission to spend like a rich person while earning like a compressed middle-class worker. That mismatch is where the pain starts. Because $100,000 is no longer a wealth milestone, it's a maintenance salary. Let me prove it. Meet Alex. Alex is 32 years old, single, no kids, college-educated, works a respectable job with benefits. Alex lives in a major U.S. metro. Not Manhattan, not San Francisco, just a normal, expensive city like Austin, Denver, or Atlanta, the kind of city everyone says is reasonable. Alex makes exactly $100,000 a year on a W-2. No funny business, no commissions, no wild bonuses, just a clean 6-figure salary. Sounds solid, right? Let's run the math. Before Alex pays rent, before Alex buys groceries, before Alex even sees the money, the government gets paid. Federal income tax, state income tax, Social Security, Medicare. And here's what people miss. Taxes are not optional, and they're not visible. You never swipe a card, you never approve the charge. They just disappear. On a $100,000 salary in 2026, for a single filer in a mid-tax state, Alex takes home roughly $6,000 per month. Not $8,300, not $7,500, $6,000. That's the number that matters. That's the money Alex actually controls. Everything else, that's fantasy money, money that never had a chance. So from this moment on, we're not talking about a $100K salary. We're talking about a $72,000 lifestyle ceiling. Now Alex needs a place to live. Not luxury, not a high-rise, not a penthouse, just a clean, safe one-bedroom apartment close enough to work. In 2026, in cities like Austin, Denver, or Atlanta, the average rent for a one-bedroom sits between $2,200 and $2,600. Let's be conservative. Alex finds a place for $2,400. And here's where the trap quietly snaps shut. $2,400 is 40% of Alex's take-home pay, not gross, not before tax, actual money. And rent is different from every other expense. You can't negotiate it monthly, you can't pause it to save, you can't optimize it with budgeting hacks. Once it's locked in, it's locked in. After rent, Alex has $6,000 minus $2,400 equals $3,600 left. Still feels okay, but the damage is already done. Now Alex needs transportation, and this is where Americans lose thousands without realizing it. Alex doesn't drive a luxury car, no BMW, no Tesla, just a respectable car. Here's what that looks like in real life. Car payment, $550. Insurance, $180. Gas, $150. Maintenance, $80. That's $960 per month, almost $1,000, just to exist in a city built around cars. And notice the trick here. Cars are sold based on monthly affordability, not total cost. No one asks Alex, "Is this stealing future freedom from you?" They ask, "Can you afford $550 a month?" After transportation, $3,600 minus $960 equals $2,640 left. And we're not even at food yet. Now we hit the stuff that feels non-optional, because it isn't. Groceries, $600. Eating out, casual, no Michelin stars, $350. Utilities, internet, and phone, $350. That's $1,300 just to eat, communicate, and keep the lights on. No splurging, no waste, just life. After that, $2,640 minus $1,300 equals $1,340 left. This is the moment most people think, okay, now I can finally save. But that's not how reality works, because responsibility comes next. Alex does everything the financial system told them to do. No rebellion, no shortcuts. 401k contribution, $800 a month. Health insurance plus HSA, $250. Student loans, $290. That adds up to $1,340, which means $1,340 minus $1,340 equals $0. And just like that, Alex is done. Let's pause here. There was no luxury spending, no insane habits, no financial recklessness. This is a textbook doing everything right life. And the result? No savings growth, no margin, no buffer, no flexibility. A $100,000 salary, a net zero life. This is why 6 figures doesn't feel rich, because Alex isn't broke, Alex is trapped. And this, right here, is the $100,000 trap no one ever warned you about. According to Federal Reserve data, nearly 60% of Americans earning over $100,000 live paycheck to paycheck. Read that again. Not minimum wage workers, not gig workers, not people bad with money. 6-figure earners, engineers, managers, consultants, healthcare professionals. People who did everything right. Not because they're dumb, not because they're reckless, because the system quietly scales your expenses with your income. This is what I call lifestyle inflation arbitrage. Big words, simple meaning. The system arbitrages your higher income by locking you into higher fixed costs. Arbitrage just means someone else profits from a gap you don't see. In this case, the gap between what you earn and what you're convinced you can afford. And once those costs lock in, they don't come back down. You don't downgrade rent easily. You don't sell a car easily. You don't cancel commitments easily. So every raise you get, it disappears before it ever becomes freedom. Here's where everything flips. Let me ask you a question, and don't answer it emotionally. Answer it mathematically. If Alex makes $100,000 a year, but at the end of every month controls $0. How rich is Alex? Not feels rich, not looks successful. How rich is Alex in reality? The answer is uncomfortable. Alex isn't rich at all. Alex is operating a high-cost system that produces no surplus. And that's the moment most people miss. Here's the shift you need to make. Income tells you how much money passes through your life. Wealth tells you how much money stays. That difference is what I call delta. Delta is just the gap between what comes in and what you actually control. Control means you can save it, invest it, use it to buy time or options. If there's no delta, there's no wealth, no matter how big the paycheck looks. Now you might be thinking, okay, but this is just how life is now. It's not. This isn't inflation. This isn't bad luck. This is behavioral economics. Your brain is wired to prioritize comfort before leverage. When income increases, your brain doesn't say, let me build optionality. It says, I've earned safety. So when you get a raise or a new job, your brain immediately looks for upgrades, a safer apartment, a more reliable car, a better neighborhood. And none of those choices feel irresponsible. They feel mature. They feel logical. They feel deserved. But here's the catch. Every upgrade that feels safe usually comes with a fixed monthly cost, and fixed costs are dangerous because they don't flex. They don't care about your goals. They don't care about your stress. They don't care about your burnout. Once your baseline lifestyle costs $5,800 a month, you don't have flexibility. You have obligations, and obligations demand income forever. So you didn't get richer, you got heavier. More weight, same freedom. Here's the most dangerous belief in personal finance. If I just earn a little more, I'll finally be okay. This belief is lethal because it delays the real fix. Every raise without structure doesn't solve the problem, it feeds the trap. Banks love this belief. Car dealers love this belief. Landlords absolutely love this belief. Because they don't care what you make, they care what you commit to. Once you commit future income to fixed costs, you've already lost the leverage battle. And the higher your income goes without structural control, the harder it becomes to exit. That's the cruel irony. The people who look most successful are often the most trapped. And the moment you understand that, you stop chasing income and you start engineering freedom. This is where we change the game. Up until now, we've been diagnosing the problem. Now we're going to fix it, structurally, not emotionally. I call this the 50% control rule. If you cannot control at least 50% of your take-home pay, you are not building wealth. You're maintaining survival. And let me be very clear about what control means, because this is where people get confused. Control does not mean spending. It does not mean lifestyle upgrades. It does not mean having more fun money. Control means choice. It means money that can be saved, invested, used to buy time, or used to create options. If more than half of your income is locked into rent, cars, insurance, and fixed bills, you are financially fragile, even at $100,000. Because fragility isn't about income, it's about how quickly your life collapses if the paycheck stops. I hear this pushback every single time. Rent alone is already 40%. Cars are expensive now. Everything costs more. You're not wrong, but that's exactly the point. The solution is not higher income alone, because higher income without structure just increases the size of the trap. The real solution is expense velocity control. Velocity is just a fancy word for speed. How fast does money leave your life, and how hard is it to slow it down? We don't obsess over budgets because budgets shame people. We don't nickel and dime lattes. We slow the big leaks, because slowing one big leak beats fixing 10 tiny ones.
Now let's get practical. Not motivational,
Not theoretical. Actionable. Step 1. Freeze lifestyle at 70K. This is the hardest step and the most powerful. If you earn 100K, your lifestyle should look like 70K. Same apartment class, same car tier, same baseline expectations. You don't downgrade your life, you refuse to upgrade it. That $30,000 gap, that's not extra money. That's your freedom fund. That's the difference between being employed and being trapped. Step 2. Kill the car payment first. This is non-negotiable. A $900 per month car payment is a $10,800 annual wealth leak. And remember, that's after-tax money. To earn that $10,800, you probably had to make closer to $15,000 gross. Paid-off cars do something magical. They lower your required income. They reduce stress instantly. They increase your delta overnight. Not sexy, but incredibly powerful. Step 3. Redesign housing, not upgrade it. Housing is your biggest lever, not because it's evil, but because it's large. You don't need to suffer, you just need to optimize for control. Roommates, smaller square footage, different neighborhood, shorter commute with cheaper rent. A $400 reduction in rent equals $4,800 per year in control. That's more impactful than most raises, and unlike a raise, it's guaranteed. Step 4. Stop worshiping the 401k. Now don't mishear me. 401ks are fine, but they are illiquid. You cannot use them to quit a bad job, start a business, take a career break, buy time in your 30s or 40s. We don't reject retirement accounts. We just stop pretending they're freedom tools. You need accessible capital, brokerage accounts, cash reserves, optional income streams, because freedom comes from locked money. Freedom comes from liquidity. Step 5. Build an exit runway. This is the end goal. Your goal is not retirement at 65. Your goal is optional work. 6 to 12 months of living expenses in controlled assets. That's the moment when anxiety fades, decisions slow down, risk becomes manageable. That's when you stop asking, "What do I have to do?" and start asking, "What do I want to do?" This system isn't about deprivation. It's about leverage. When you control cash flow, you control time, and time is the real currency. Not income, not status, not titles, time. 6 figures didn't fail you. The narrative did. You were chased income instead of control. And once you see the math, you can't unsee it. In my next video, I break down why 9 to 5 stable job is not what you think and making you broke eventually.